Okay. All right, let's fix this. So today we are doing 216 multi-step inequalities. Okay, so we're going to jump down a little bit because so I can do a problem that's going to be multi-step and just be a little bit of a more difficult one, and then you'll have to do the rest. Okay, and I'm going to do a couple. So we're going to jump down here to number 4. Okay, obviously, because it's got the fraction, I'm wanting to make sure that I go over that. And you remember that you've got to remember your fraction rules, integer rules, and solving rules. You've got to remember all of these, okay? As you are working, and I can't write. Okay? So here we go. We are just, because it's on the outside, we're distributing. So that means I'm doing 4/3 times 6y. I'm putting it as a fraction because I'm multiplying by a fraction. So this is the same as having 6y over 1 plus 4/3 times 21 over 1 minus 17 is greater than or equal to 43. And now we actually do our multiplication. And I'm going to simplify if I can simplify. And if I look right here, 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 twice. So this is going to become 2y up here. So now I'm doing 4 times 2, which gives me 8y. And I have 1 times 1, which is 1, so I don't have to write the denominator of 1. Plus, now I'm looking to see, can I simplify anywhere else? 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 21 7 times. So now I'm doing 4 times 7, which gives me 28 minus 17 is greater than or equal to 43. Next step is to simplify. So I simplify. Remember, anytime there's a minus, I change that to plus a negative. So I know that that's a negative 17. And now I follow my integer rules. They're doing battle. The positives are winning. Bring this down. So I'm going to have 8y plus, and now I've got to do 28 minus 17, which is 11. So I have 8y plus 11 is greater than or equal to 43. And now I'm solving. So I did fraction rules, then I did integer rules, and now I'm doing solving rules. Okay, and remember we have to do the opposite to go over the equation wall. This is plus 11, so I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. This zeros out. There's a 0 pair. So now I have 8y is greater than or equal to, and I'm subtracting. These are doing battle. Again, integer rules, the positives are winning. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I end up with 32. And now I'm dividing by 8 to both sides. The 8's 1 out or cancel to 1, and I end up with y is greater than or equal to 4. And now we graph, okay, by putting the 4 here, and we fill out the rest of the number line. So this is going to go 4. These are positive, so it's going to go 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is 3, 2, 1. It's a filled in circle because it is an equal to bar. It's greater than, so I am shading everything that is bigger than 4. There's that example. Here we go. Moving right along. Number 5. This is where we've got to remember we have variables on both sides. And remember the rule of, we want variables on one side, numbers on other side. So I'm going to move the 8w to the left because I always like to have the variables on the left. It makes it easier when it comes to graphing. Okay, so what do I have to do to make this equal 0? It's a positive 8w, so I'm going to subtract 8w from both sides. And that equals 0. Following my integer rules, these are different signs. So I'm doing battle. The negatives are winning, and we end up with negative 6w. Bring this down. That's a negative 9. Don't forget that's a negative 9. Is greater than or equal to. Now, this is where people make a mistake. That's a negative 3. If you don't see it, change this to plus a negative so that you remember that's a negative 3. Because if you don't, you're going to make a mistake. And next, now we're back at solving. What do I have to do to get the w by itself? I need to move this 9. It's subtracting 9, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And this equals 0. Some people like to put the z for 0 or the 0. It's up to you. Or you can put the 0 down here. So bring down the rest. That's a negative 6w. Don't forget the negative. That's how people trip up sometimes. Negative 6w is greater than or equal to. Different signs, so they're battle. The positives are winning, and then this is a 6. Okay, now we're looking at, okay, what do I have to do to get the w by itself? I'm dividing by a negative number. Since I'm dividing by a negative 6 on both sides, that goes back up to this rule up here. Remember, you must flip the inequality if you multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, so we divided by a negative 6, so we now have w is less than or equal to negative 1. Because we divided by a negative on both sides, we had to flip the inequality symbol. So I put the negative 1 in the middle, and then I fill out the rest of the number line. And this is the negative side, so this is 0, 1, 2 on this side, and this is negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 on the left. This is a filled in circle because it's equal to, it's less than, so it's everything on the left. All right, 2 more examples. Looking at number 10. The reason that I chose number 10 was because this is a 13 minus and then the parentheses. That means that this minus is understood to be plus a negative 1 that is going to be distributed to everything inside the parentheses. So to help you, remember, anytime there's a minus, change it to plus a negative, so that you use your signs correctly. So we have 13 plus negative 1 times 17 plus negative 1 times negative 9v is greater than 4 times v plus 4 times negative 1. Some of us may not need this step written out, but if you make integer errors, write this step out because it will help you tremendously. Now we're going to do this multiplication of each one of these. So now I'm going to have 13 plus negative 17 plus 10v is greater than 4v plus negative 4. And now we simplify. My constants over here, they're doing battle, and the negatives win, so I end up with a negative 4 plus 10v is greater than 4v plus negative 4. And remember, we want to get all the variables on one side. So I'm going to move the 4v to the left. So I'm going to subtract 4v from both sides. And this equals 0. So now I'm going to have negative 4 plus, this is 6v is greater than negative 4. And now I continue solving. Add 4 to both sides. This equals 0, and I have 6v is greater than 0. It's okay to have a 0 answer. Remember that. Next step, divide by 6. Oh, how did I get 10 here? That's multiplication. Okay, so this is supposed to be, I added instead of multiplying. So that's supposed to be a positive 9 there. So this is going to be 9v. So that's going to make this 5v. So I end up with 5v here. And then we divide by 5. Took me long enough to catch that one. Divide by 5, and we have v is greater than 0 as our answer. So we put 0 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3. This is an open circle because it's not equal to, and it is everything that's bigger than 0. All right, last example. Number 14. We have to first solve it, and then we check off which ones are in the solution set. All right, we're solving. Here we go. We distribute first. Ooh, I'm going through and changing all my minuses to plus a negative, plus a negative, plus a negative. So I'm going to have, I'm distributing. So I'm going to have -7k plus -7 times -4 gives me 28. Is less than or equal to, -1's not multiplying, so I just bring it down. Now I'm doing -2 times 8, so that's going to give me plus a -16. Then I have -2 times a -k, so that gives me a positive 2k. And now I combine like terms where I can. The -1 and the -16. So now I have -7k plus 28 is less than or equal to -17 plus 2k. And now we solve. So I'm going to move the 2k over here. So I'm going to subtract 2k from both sides. And this equals 0. So I'm now going to have -9k. Bring everything else down. Plus 28 is less than or equal to -17. Now I'm going to subtract 28 from both sides. This equals 0. So we have -9k is less than or equal to. Now these are both negatives, so therefore that we're doing teamwork. So I'm adding. So 7 plus 5 is 15. Carried my 1, so this is going to be a -45. Divide by a -9. Since I'm dividing by a -9 on both sides, I've got to flip the inequality symbol. So we end up with k is greater than or equal to 5. So I need to know which ones of these solutions are bigger than 5, but also equal to. Bigger than or equal to. So 5 is, 6 is, 7 is, and 8 is. All of those would make this a true statement. Your assignment for today is to finish the notes page. We'll do the classwork homework on Friday. Have a great day.